enduring understandings for those themes, the next step is to design a plan to connect those themes to students at the beginning of the course. This is why Unit 1 is so critical. Most teachers have asked their students at one time or another if they remember discussing some previous topic, and many students don't remember. The idea behind Unit 1 in all social studies courses is to engage students' prior understandings with the themes that will be discussed throughout the course. This means creating a first unit that teaches the terminology in the enduring understandings and allows students to make connections in their own lives or community. The traditional practice of handing out vocabulary lists and reading the first chapter on day 1 needs to be reconsidered. Instead, engage in a dialogue with the students and do some activities where students have the opportunity to demonstrate what they already understand about the connecting themes. When Unit 1 is complete, students should understand all components of the enduring understandings, give personal examples of each of the ones you intend to use, and connect a piece of content to one or more of the enduring understandings. Let's see what this looks like in practice.
Who plans on going to college? All right, Jasmine, why?
Because I think I'd be more successful if I have a college education.
Okay. You think you make more money?
Yes.
Maybe get a better job?
Yes.
So it'd be good for you long term?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what has the government in the state of Georgia done to help students go to college?
Enforce grants and scholarships.
Do you know one by name by any chance?
The Hope Scholarship.
Hope Scholarship. All right, what is the Hope Scholarship?
It's a scholarship given to, I think it's just Georgia kids who maintain a certain grade point average or numeric average.
And they pay for you to go to college, right?
Yes.
Now, why would the government want you to go to college?
Maybe to push you to work harder in school.
And when you graduate from college, you are better prepared for the workforce, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, you mentioned something about the GPA. Why would the government have a GPA component to the Hope Scholarship? Why would they want you to keep your GPA at a certain level?
Maybe so more people will push to have a higher GPA and have a better chance to get into better schools.
Right. Stephen, you wanted to comment on that?
I was just going to say that the government may want you to have the GPA so that they don't spend their money or waste their money on people that they know aren't going to finish and aren't going to pursue their goals.
Right. So what's the belief here? What's the belief from government? They believe if we spend money on education, then
more people, I believe that they think that if they spend more money on education, more students will pursue further education and try to be more successful in life.
Good. Yes, you had a comment?
Well, like Stephen was saying, I was saying maybe like if the government spend money on students who want to learn, maybe the ones who don't want to learn will change their thought about it. And they'll want to learn just like everybody else, and then the government will see that they can do this all statewide, just not in one state or 2 states.
Well, good. So what we take from this then is the fact that you want to go to college because you think it'll better you in the future. So that's a belief you have, right? I believe that if I go to college, I'll get a better job, I'll make more money in the future. And you think that could actually lead to other students wanting the same thing, right? So here we have the government making a decision, and they give away a lot of money, right? And college is expensive. So the government's going to give away a lot of money based on a belief, all right? So it's an economic decision, you follow me? Based on a belief. Better people who want to go to college should be a better workforce. Therefore, we are going to spend money on that. Yes, dear.
As well as a belief, wouldn't it be an idea if they didn't do it yet?
Belief and ideal. And I'm going to use the term belief and ideal as kind of synonymous. Good. Who in here has ever done some kind of volunteer work? Caitlin, what kind of volunteer? Or what group were you working with when you volunteered?
Usually elementary school age kids.
Okay. Well, who was doing the volunteering? Was it a church group? Was it a school group?
It's my school group for Beta Club.
Your Beta Club. You said you were helping elementary school?
Yes.
What were you doing?
We usually play learning games or computer games, just reading and stuff.
Why that group?
They're just easier to get along with and they want to learn more.
What's the importance of helping them learn and helping them with education?
It's usually classes like after school with the kids that struggle during school.
Okay, so what's the belief behind that? If you help them when they're struggling with learning, what's that going to do for them in the future?
become better and just want to learn more, and you won't struggle as much.
And how does that help?
It helps them be able to get into colleges and just go farther.
How much time do you spend volunteering?
Well, we have to have 25 hours a year, and just usually a couple hours at a time.
Now, is that 25 hours you could use doing something else?
Yes.
But you choose to volunteer, right? So you're making a decision in this case. In this case, you're taking up time, so you're making a social decision based on a belief that you need to help the elementary kids with their reading, right? Does that make sense to everybody else? Has anybody ever changed a decision or a belief after talking to somebody, after getting advice from somebody? Nicole, what kind of situation were you in?
Well, I was gonna buy a shirt, and my mom told me it was too expensive, so I ended up not getting the shirt. But then later I found it at a different store for a cheaper price.
Okay, so were you mad originally that you couldn't buy the shirt?
Very.
Because you didn't think you would get it again, right?
Yes.
But it turned out it would have been a mistake to buy the shirt, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, why did you give your mom's advice so much weight? Why did that matter to you?
Well, she kind of made me.
She kind of made you, so she exerted force, right? And that happens sometimes in government. We have people who exert force on others just because they think they know better. And it turns out in this case, she was right.
Yes.
Is she all
Well, no.
right? It's okay. You can say no. All right. Anybody else have any comments on that one? All right. So what we had then, you had somebody with more experience of shopping, right? So your mom has more experience shopping than you do, giving you advice on a shopping tip, and it turned out to be the correct advice. What you're going to see in government is that happens a lot. We have government decisions that are made based on previous government decisions or prior documents that were written long before our government was around that actually have turned out to be correct. And sometimes we try to do things in government that don't work out so well. For example, we're going to talk about something that later on in the course called the Articles of Confederation and how we tried to do it on our own. We tried to go out and buy that shirt. We thought we could do it. We thought we were really smart. But in the end, it turned out it wasn't really the best way to do it. And what we had to do was go back and get advice from people who had structured governments long before we had. Has anybody ever tried to change something at school, like a pep rally or the location, the price of prom tickets? Stephen?
Yes, I actually tried to get my schedule changed because I wasn't satisfied with the class that they had scheduled me for.
Now, how did you go about doing that?
Well, at first, I went down to the counselor's office myself to try and see if I could get it changed, but they said you had to sign up on the login sheet, and then they would call you down individually.
Okay.
And they were taking too long, and by that time, school was already progressing. So, therefore, I ended up telling my mother about it, and she actually came up here to help me get it changed.
Okay. Now, why did you feel like your schedule needed to be changed in the first place?
Well, because I wasn't satisfied with the class or the teacher that was teaching me. I didn't feel that I would actually learn the material that I needed to be taught in that class.
Okay. Let me go back a second. You said your mom actually eventually became involved, right? Now, why did you feel that was a necessary step to take?
Well, because I felt that the counselors wouldn't listen to my voice, so that I felt that they would listen to my parents' voice, my mother's voice.
Why would they give your mother more weight or more credit than they would give you?
Well, because she's actually an adult too, and adults usually listen to adults more than they would listen to children.
Okay, that's perfect. So let's look at this. In this case, the decision was to what? What was your decision?
To change my schedule.
Change your schedule. There was actually two kind of decisions going on here. Right, and you decided to get mom involved. We'll just say mom. Now, what was the belief for causing you to want to get your schedule changed?
That I wouldn't like the material that was being taught in class.
So wouldn't learn as much, you felt? And what was your belief? What was your idea? What were you thinking when you decided to get mom involved?
That they would actually listen to what she had to say instead of just how they weren't listening to me.
Okay. Anybody else have a comment on this one? All right. Now, this is absolutely perfect because when we talk about government, especially when we talk about interest groups, anybody ever heard that term, interest groups? When we talk about interest groups later on this year, this is what interest groups are all about. It's hard sometimes for a legislator or for a senator or a representative to listen to just me or to just you. And they have a lot of people they represent. But if we can get an interest group involved, in this case your mom represents an interest group, right? They will listen to that group because it's a louder voice, right? It's a more legitimate voice. Interest groups have time and money. They can research. They know the issues. So when an interest group goes to a legislator and they say, we want this particular bill passed, they're much more likely to do it. Did your schedule change after your mom got involved?
Yes.
But not before then, right? It's the same thing. We have this belief, in this case your belief was that, well, the administrator, the counselors will listen more to an adult than they would to just me. We can change that around a little bit, and there's a belief in government that legislators will listen more to a large group of people than to just an individual. Does that make sense? So we have beliefs affecting our decisions. I decided to get mom involved because I thought they listened to her more. Same thing with the scheduling change. I had this belief that I wouldn't learn as much, or you had this belief in this case. I'm not going to learn as much. This is not going to be beneficial for me. The policy needs to be changed. So we need to make some changes. Our beliefs affect our decisions. Starting to see this? Starting to click for you? Good. Now that we've looked at beliefs and ideals on a personal level, we've talked about some of the decisions you guys have made. What I want to do now is take that and make it a little bit bigger, make it a bit broader, something we can use in government through the whole course. So if you would, open up your notebooks, and on that first page, you'll see a chart that looks very similar to the one on the board. And it's got our 5 themes on it, the 5 connecting themes that I told you about earlier. And this is the only 5 things you really, really have to focus on in this course, because everything I teach you is going to be part of one of these 5. But it's not enough just to say beliefs and ideals. There's obviously something I want you to understand about beliefs and ideals, right? So what that's going to be called is an enduring understanding. Enduring means long-term, it lasts a long time. Understanding is what I want you to understand. So that's what we're going to write here. What is it about beliefs and ideals that I want you to understand for a long term? Does that make sense? So here's what I want you to put in that first box. The beliefs and ideals of a society influence social, economic, and political decisions of that society. The beliefs and ideals of a society, they think to be true, like Nicole said earlier, what they believe is true, affect or influence their social decisions, their economic decisions, and their political decisions. Which groups do we volunteer to help is based on who we think needs the help, right? Whether or not we go to college, or whether or not we want to go to college, is based on how much value we place on that, right? When we decide not to buy a shirt or to change something we've already worked on, based on a belief we have that somebody has better advice, somebody who's been there. Does that make sense? So the beliefs and ideals of a society influence the social, economic, and political decisions. And that's going to keep coming up throughout the whole course.
Here, Mr. Cannon was connecting the theme, in this case beliefs and ideals, with things students were familiar with. This is critical to conceptual teaching. For students to really use the themes, they need to realize that they already know and understand quite a bit about these themes, and the teacher is simply expanding on them. If you're lucky enough to get students who are acclimated to the themes and adept at using them, then you can go deeper into their meanings. This is why we have encouraged systems to develop common themes for all of their courses.
Alright, so quickly do your command control thing, and then we're not going to talk about it, we're going to do it up and again right away. That's what the class